welcome back to my channel, and hello if you're new. And yes, I am aware that going back to school is right around the corner. As someone who has recently just left sixth form, so I have been from my school from year 7 all the way to year 13, so 7 years, which was just insane. So with that in mind, grab your Stanleys because we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about how to survive school from year 7 to 11. And I don't actually know if this is the right way around, but that's what we're discussing, and we're going to cover everything. And I've written down on my best notes in my little notebook whiteboard for everything. Okay, enough rambling, let's take our seats. And it feels like story time. So we're starting from year 7. You've just gone into year 7, you're about to start a new school, everything is new, and my best advice is to focus on making friends. You are new, you're in a whole new school with a load of people you don't know. Like, you've probably been separated from a lot of people, so definitely focus on making friends and just getting to know people, getting to know who they are. Don't stress too much about lessons. Obviously try your hardest in lessons, I'm not saying don't try, but year 7 is more about getting comfortable, meeting new people, finding out what you really like, seeing who you have things in common with. Another word of advice would be to really take the time to get to know the school, get to know where all the different rooms are, or all the different buildings, depending on how your school works, because that is something that I learned is actually quite important. Because when lockdown hit, I was in year 7, so when we all went back to school in year 9, when we fully started getting back into the swing of it, none of us had any idea where anything was, because we didn't have that opportunity to explore the school and to know where everything is. Make friends and just get to know the school, get to know the environment, get to know the people you're with, get to know your teachers, get to know your subjects, and just really get a feel, because secondary is a big change from primary school. And then once you finish year 7, you then go into year 8, and this is probably the most carefree year in secondary school, because you know the school, you've got your friends, and yeah, you're just comfortable. You've got no pressure to choose GCSEs or options. You can just enjoy it. And I wish I enjoyed year 8 more. Partially lockdown hit, but enjoy year 8 as much as possible. Enjoy year 7 to year 9 as much as possible. But also don't be surprised if friendships change, because that's what happens through every year of school. So if you made loads of friends in year 7 and then you go to year 8 and actually you start making new friends, that's okay, that's normal. It's normal for friendships to change. I personally feel like year 7 is a time to get to know as many people as possible, whereas year 8 is when you really start to sort of refine and figure out who you want to be in your friend group and who you actually click with. Whereas year 7, everyone's just so excited, everyone's new, so you're all meeting people and you're all meeting new people. Of course, every experience is different, so do not make loads of friends in year 7 and think it's fine, I won't be friends with you, because you will stay friends with people. And yeah, just, I don't know, just enjoy it. I found in terms of lessons, in terms of friends, in terms of everything in school, year 8 is the most chilled year, so really embrace it. You then head to year 9, and year 9 is when it starts to get a little bit real. You've settled into school, you've made your friends, and now you're faced with choosing your GCSE options, which is where it gets a little bit more like locking in. You don't have to lock in fully in year 9 because you're still not doing your GCSE options, but you need to start thinking about what you want to study. My biggest advice is don't pick what your friends pick to study, pick what you enjoy. For example, if you really like history but all your friends are choosing geography, don't choose geography because all your friends are choosing geography. Choose history because you actually have a really love and interest in history for that. So choose for you, don't choose for your friends, because if you're truly friends with them, you will meet them after lessons and you'll meet them for lunch and break times, and you'll also make new friends in the GCSE classes. And then once those decisions have been made in year 9, you then move to year 10. And obviously, I don't know, different schools have different policies, but you're not locked in to those GCSE options you choose in year 9. You can change your mind. For example, I chose religious studies and media, and I ended up doing drama and child development. Like, those options are continuously changing, so don't feel overwhelms, like, oh my god, I've got to make my decisions right now. You don't. So I really enjoyed choosing my options for GCSEs. I just found it so fun and exciting, especially when you have a lot of subjects that maybe aren't your cup of tea. You get to choose the ones that are. However, year 10 is the start of your GCSEs, so you do want to start locking in a bit more in lessons. My advice would be, the more you can keep up in year 10 and keep on track of things, the easier year 11 will be, because you won't come to having to cram it in year 11 and think, oh my goodness, I don't remember anything that I studied in year 10 because I didn't pay attention. But then with that in mind, it's also important to not put too much pressure on yourself. Do not sit there and do 5 hours of revision each night for year 10. If you can, you know, like, I'm really impressed, because that is amazing. But pace yourself, you know. You don't have to start revising every night for the next 2 years of your life, because that's not how it works. That's not realistic. And finally, that means we have reached year 11, which takes you to the GCSEs, the most stressful year of all. Will you pass GCSE maths? Will you get those grades? That is the biggest stress. Things go so fast because you're also, beginning of the year is sort of taken up by next steps, what you're going to do, whether you want to apply for an apprenticeship, whether you want to go on for college or sixth form, and you've got all these options buzzing around in your head, and then you suddenly start realising, my GCSEs start so soon, need to start locking in. Like I say, the easiest thing to do to not stress yourself out too much is to focus on your lessons. Just take everything with what you can and use your teachers. Please, please, please use your teachers throughout the whole of school. It will make your journey so much easier. If you're stuck with something and you ask your teacher, I'm really sorry, can you just give me some extra help? Because that's something I learned a little bit too late in my school time. It just helps so much. They're there to teach you. They want to help you, and they can't help you if you don't ask for that help. They don't know that you're struggling if you don't ask for them to explain something. Don't sit there in silence and struggle and then go home and cry because you don't understand them. Ask them, tell them you don't understand it, and you can work something out. As well as in terms of revision, you know, you need to pace yourself with the revision, as I feel like cramming every night for the next 2 weeks before your GCSEs start is just going to burn you out before your exams. And it's not just about revising so much a night, it's about having effective revision, which is something that I learned, because when mocks came around and I was like, I don't understand what's happening, you know, I've been revising every single night, why am I not getting the results? It's because my revision techniques just weren't working. I would sit there reading books, making flashcards, but it's passive revision. You want to be doing active revision. You want to be doing quizzes, past papers, because that's the only way it really drills into you. I feel like everyone has their own revision ways and their own limits. But I have a very low attention span, so my revision would be 45-minute sessions, half an hour sessions, then a break. Some people can do 2 hours, then a break. You're at the end of your secondary school journey and you're all going on to your next steps, whether that's college, sixth form, apprenticeships. It always feels like revision in secondary school is like, oh my god, you revised, that's so uncool. But the minute you get into sixth form, you get to what you really want to be doing, or you get to your studies or apprenticeships, you really start locking in, and suddenly it's really cool to revise like 2 hours, and everyone's like, oh, I wish I revised 2 hours, or I revised 3 hours last night. Don't be put off by someone else saying like, oh, I didn't revise at all, because the likelihood is they did revise, they just don't want to look uncool. Revision is cool. Getting those grades is so cool. Being able to say that you put all that effort in is so cool, so don't let that put you off. That has brought us to the end of our video today, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video if you got this far. And to let me know if you got this far, comment down your favourite story from school, or what was your favourite year in school. And yeah, I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!